Just wait. So welcome everyone to sessions 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We're gonna try to do that in our time together today. And it's our last batch of this kind of training. So most of our time, almost all of our time, we're going to be diving into tools, specific tools. So really fun. I'll show you the names of some tools for these different things. So research and listening for ease, efficiency, etc. And then I'll demo some of the tools. But just before we start and dive in as a way to get you focused and to sink into the learning, if you'd like to put on your grid video so you can see everyone, and if it's possible, if everyone can put on their cameras and then take a scrap piece of paper and write one letter rather large on a scrap piece of paper. So grab a scrap piece of paper and any letter, doesn't matter, any letter in the English language. Okay, so Mass has got a K. And when you're ready, you can hold that up to the camera. Angeline, your background is incredible. Is that a painting? Wow, it's beautiful.
Thanks. I found it on Unsplash.
Ah, fantastic.
They actually have like one whole category just for Zoom backgrounds. It's really funny when I saw it, but I was like, yeah, you know, times have changed. We need like a collection of photos for Zoom.
I didn't know that. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay, so one letter. Okay, so Ellie's got an A, Maz has got a K, Affy's got an M, Neural's got an N, we've got an S from Shalini, we've got two M's, and Angeline, when you're ready, has a J. Okay, and I'm going to help you here. I am going to pick, let's see, I'm going to pick an E. So just really quickly, hold your letter up and then see how many words you can make out of these letters. And you can unmute. So what letter, you can unmute or you can put it in the chat. I know it's hard to hold up your letter and type, so it might be easier to unmute. Okay, great.
M-A-K-E-S.
Oh, great, a long one. Okay, what else? Mine, M-I-N-E.
Snake.
Snake, oh good, Ali. Skim and skin. Skim and skin.
Is that J?
Yeah, G.
Okay, okay.
Nice.
What again? Jam. Oh.
What else? Anything, any other words?
Games.
James. Jean.
Oh, same. Did we say same?
Jeans.
Same.
Jean. Like the pants, jeans.
Yeah, same. And oh, and skein. How do you say that word? Skein. Skein. Jeans. Same. Sane. Nice. Okay, well done, guys. Well done. Oh, I'm trying not to say that word. It's not inclusive, but it's hard to break that habit. Try not to say guys. Folks sounds kind of, and girls, I don't know. Okay, so welcome to sessions 25 and 26. We'll take a break about halfway through. If I happen to forget, feel free to remind me, please. Sometimes I get carried away by this stuff and I don't, I forget to take a break. Okay, so let's just go ahead here. And again, all of these PowerPoints are in your digital, your online digital portal. We're uploading the videos to the YouTube list, so everything is there for you. So we're going to go over some tools for research and listening. And also we're going to do a few more. We're going to do 2 sessions on ease and efficiency. And then we'll go into tools to store, find, and share, and how do you assess engagement? So a couple things to keep in mind as we get started. Please remember to stay in the driver's seat. So I shared a few tools last time. Not all of these tools are going to apply to you. Not all of them will work for whatever you are wanting to do. So you need to be proactive and choose the ones that fit your needs. And remember that there's a difference between the type of tool and the pain or that it resolves and the specific tool. So for example, I'll be showing you a text expander. That's a type of tool. And then the particular specific tool that I will show you is called Type It For Me. So if I happen to show you a specific tool that doesn't work in your ecosystem, maybe it's a tool for Mac and you're on a PC, or for whatever reason it doesn't work, make sure that you are aware of the type of tool so that you can work, you can look for a similar, a tool that solves that particular issue. So any questions before we dive in around tools for research and listening? So we're going to go over some tools for research and listening, and then tools for ease and efficiency. It's one of my favorite parts of the training. These tools are so fun. Maz is saying, let's dive in. Awesome. Pardon me. Also keep in mind too that every single one of these tools, except for one, is free. So it shouldn't cost you any money except for one. And also keep in mind, in terms of the driver's seat, remember to keep in mind, what pain are you trying to solve? What issue, what problem, what challenge? So stay in the driver's seat that way, but also stay in the driver's seat in terms of the toe, dip, and dive. So these tools, almost all of them are very simple. I would put them in the toe. Remember we went over toe, dip, and dive. Toe is super easy. You can just dip your toe in. Dive, you go up to your waist and then, dip and then, dive in. So if you're finding, if I'm explaining something and you think, oh, I don't have time, it's too hard, it's stressing me out, that's totally fine. Just stay in the driver's seat. Okay, so I'll show you some tools. I'll just explain them, and then I'll demo some of them. You can let me know which ones you want me to demo. Okay, who on the call has a Google Alert? Who on the call has a Google Alert? Or actually, let me back up. Who knows what Google Alerts are? Does anybody know on the call what's a Google Alert? Anybody know what a Google Alert is? So Maz knows yes. Amira, I know, I just realized I have it. I used during the study years. Ali's saying I should set one up. Yeah, so Google Alerts are, I think, one of the most underutilized tools for research and listening. So at a minimum, at a very, very minimum, I strongly recommend that you have a Google Alert for your name and for your organization's name. So now, if you have the Malaysian equivalent of a name of Bob Smith, that can be a little tough, but they are fantastic, and I'll demo it in just a few minutes. But basically it returns, if you tell it to search for something, it will return all of that information to you, all of that. It does all the research for you. So absolutely fantastic. Another one, group chats. Oftentimes, depending on your users, if you're trying to research and kind of listen to what issues are important to them, if we have a WhatsApp, a Telegram, a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group, you can really, really get a lot of information from your communities. Is anyone using a group chat right now? If you say yes, let me know which tool you're using for that. So Ali is WhatsApp, yeah. Afi, WhatsApp and Telegram, great. Is anyone using LinkedIn? Does anyone have a group on LinkedIn or follows a group on LinkedIn? Maz Signal, great. Mari, Afi, yes, or Neural? Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, they're super simple tools. And as long as your community uses that tool, then you can get a lot of information that way. Okay, another one is annotating. We've done a little bit of that online. I've demoed that a little bit. What's annotating? And specifically, have you used this for research and listening? So when I say annotate, we're talking about digital engagement. What do I mean by that? So Ali, the drawing thing. Yeah. So it can be drawing. It's when anyone's making a mark on your screen, right? So you're on a call, and it can be synchronous, it can be live, or it can be asynchronous and evergreen. Now the annotation feature in Zoom is very different from Teams. And so Jamboard is kind of annotation. Usually, I guess you could consider that a type of annotation, sure, yeah. So here's an example here. I have this, what's called a blob tree. And I've purchased this tool, and I'll show you this online. So this is a static one right here. Although I could actually let me do that right now. So there's a couple of different ways that you can annotate. So feel free if you want to right now, and maybe your supervisor's on the line, so or on the call rather. So maybe you can just do this for fun. But I have this online tool, so that's an asynchronous one. Where I invite people to annotate based on their relationship with their supervisor. So feel free to annotate the screen right now. And then later on, I'll show you an asynchronous version. So something that is not in real time. So feel free to, I've seen people do some really fun things with this. So I've seen people go from one thing to another. Feel free to annotate the screen right now. And you can just make any kind of mark you want. It doesn't have to answer the question. There we go. So we've got a star there. I've got a couple stars. Yeah. So if I'm using the annotation tool to do some listening to my community, to do a little bit of soft research, and then I can use this later on with the red marks under the eyes there. That's great. So again, this is synchronous, so it's in real time, it's live, and I'll show you an asynchronous version as well. Okay. I am going to clear all the drawings, because if I don't, they'll go over to the next slide. Okay, so go here. There we go. And when you're annotating live, you can control if people are doing it anonymously or not. Another one is online polling. Who's used polling? And which tool did you use? Who's used polling during an online engagement? I'd be surprised if no one on the call had used polling. Haven't used it yet. Oh, okay, Ali. Okay, so Neural on Zoom ? Oh, okay, so you haven't. Okay, so there's many different types of polling. So in Zoom, you can do live polling. In Teams, you can do live polling. You can poll on Twitter. Yes, Maz, you can poll on Facebook. Poll Everywhere is another tool you can use. They're really, really fun, easy tools to use. And depending on the tool, so if I was doing a live poll on Zoom, once the call is over, the poll is done. But tools like The polling feature in Teams and Poll Everywhere can keep going. So you can leave a link somewhere and people can keep doing that, can keep adding their information. Poll Everywhere is a free tool, but only up to a certain number of respondents, and then you pay. Has anyone heard of Poll Everywhere? Angeline is saying, I've experimented with using an online survey tool. Okay, wait, that's not a poll. Well, it's kind of, yeah, sure, that's kind of a poll, sure. Polls and surveys, absolutely. Poll Everywhere is, if you're using it, unless you want to pay, if it's a relatively small group, what's lovely about Poll Everywhere is that you can tweet your answer, you can text your answer, you can go to a URL and put your answer in, and then the poll updates live. Shuk, no worries, you're welcome. I'm glad that you're here, welcome. We're talking about some tools for research and listening. So we've gone over Google Alerts, chats, annotations, and online polling, and really be thinking as we're going through these, how can you use these tools for your use, right? Because there's not one tool that's perfect in every setting, but the idea here is to increase engagement. Okay, so polling is a great one. I don't actually have, I don't have Poll Everywhere queued up, but I can queue that up on my browser and demo that if you want me to. You can let me know in a second. Another one is word clouds. Has anyone made a word cloud? Has anyone made, or has anyone seen a word cloud? You should have 100% yes now, because this is a word cloud. Ali's made one. Great, great. Okay, Maz, have you made one or seen one? Ali, you made one for your group chat. Yeah, I use word clouds all the time, all the time, all the time. You can make one in just a few, almost seconds. They're so fast. And word clouds analyze text by frequency. Okay, they analyze text by frequency. So the larger the word, the more frequently that word was mentioned. And the smaller the word, the less frequently it was mentioned. So you could put like a political speech in here, you could put a PhD thesis, and it will instantly analyze it. So the font, the color, the direction of the text, those are all aesthetic. What you're looking at is the size of the words. So for this word cloud, what were the, say, 3 most common words from the data? What were the 3 most common words that the word cloud has picked up? Challenging, insightful, and informative. Yeah, exactly. So I sometimes do, give me 3 words to describe your team a year ago. Give me 3 words to describe your team now. Give me 3 words to describe your team in a year. And then I make 3 word clouds out of those. And then we use that for discussion. Or, you could use it for anything. Word clouds are just absolutely fantastic. They're so easy and so fun. And notice this one here is branded to my colors, my branding palette. So you can actually brand them as well. Okay, and then the last one in this, yeah, Maz, it is such, I had a participant in a UN workshop on digital engagement and sort of digital tools. And he was not, let's just say he really didn't want to be there. He was quite a grumpy guy, and he was retiring quite soon, and was just not happy about the state of digital things. And I taught them how to do word clouds, and he just perked right up. And the next week he came back, this was an in-person class, and he's like, Leanne, look. And he had taken his entire report, this massive report that he had made, and he put the entire report into the word cloud tool and generated these beautiful word clouds. And he's like, this is what people are looking at. This is what they're asking about. I'm like, it's an invitation for further engagement. And you can make them in like just seconds. They're so fast. I'll show you in a minute how you do that. Okay. Visualping.io. One of my kids taught me about this. Is there any website that you go to a lot? You look at this particular website a lot, and it would be important to you to know if anything on this website changed? Can you give me an example of a website? You know, for my son, what he did is he used this when he was looking for jobs. And he wanted to know the second that this particular section of a website updated and a new job was posted. But can you think like maybe a government website if they're making an announcement, or is there any website that you would? So I'm looking for a website that it would be important for you to know when they change something on the website. They updated something, they put a new job, they put a new resource, they put up a new, like something, a new blog post, okay, Mass Health Ministry, yeah. So this website, if you tell it that that's the website you want to monitor, the cases of COVID, yeah, exactly. So instead of you having to remember to go to that website, it will ping you when that section of the website changes, right? So that information is coming to you as opposed to you remembering that you have to go to it. So this is there, and I'll give you all these URLs. We monitor website changes so you don't have to. You select an area of the website and relax, and they let you know when there's been a change. Amazing, hey? I just think that's almost magical. Okay, so yes.
Do people still, okay, this is a question for the fellow participants. Do people still use websites to, because I think right now, a lot of people now depend on social media. Like yeah.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The social media for the health ministry, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is a great example of you putting yourself in the driver's seat. So this tool may not be relevant for you because potentially the way that you need to get that important data is already being taken care of by people SMSing, or you're part of a WhatsApp chat or Slack or something like that. So Ali's saying, personally, I visit websites quite a lot. Yeah, so I love that you said that, and it's just a matter of if something in your head pings and you think to yourself, oh, actually there is a website, like for example with my son, right? He was looking for a very particular kind of job, and the second that website posted a job, he was notified instantly. But if that might not be relevant for you, so no problem at all. Just pick the tools that serve you. We want the tools to serve you, not the other way around, right? Okay, so those are a few tools. I stopped sharing my screen there because it's one thing to explain them. It's a whole other thing to be able to see them. So let me just going to share my screen here. Okay. So this can let me know, either unmute or let me know in the chat if you can see this blob tree. Angeline saying, I think it depends on what kind of announcements we're looking for. I can understand that job vacancies aren't always posted on company social media accounts. Yeah, exactly, Angeline. You stay in the driver's seat, you decide if the information that you're looking for is already SMS out or on Twitter or whatever, then that's not an appropriate tool for you. Okay, so this is an example here this is the same tool. the blob tree, but it's asynchronous, meaning it's evergreen. So people can access, I could link to this in a blog post or what have you. And down this side are instructions for how to annotate in case people don't know how to do that. And it's, it just gives me lots of interesting data that I could then use in a workshop, right? So one tool for research and listening. This is the Google alert here. So this is what it looks like. Here is the URL. And someone put in the chat, what's a term that you would want to search on Google Alerts? Or a term rather. Did I say tool? I meant term. Can you put hashtags? Oh, that's a good idea, Neural. I don't know. Let's try it. So what hashtag do you want to search? Just let me know. What hashtag? Okay, I'm just going to copy that. Thanks. Thanks, Ali. Okay, so I'm on google.com alerts. So it gives you a preview. Okay, so it's only giving me one thing that may or may not be enough for you. Everyone's laughing. I don't know what that means. So it means failed government. Oh, okay. Thanks, Abby. Okay. Oh, great question, Angeline. No, it doesn't just search. So let me just go through this. So it will tell you how much do you want. So if I'm setting up this alert, I can say as it happens, at most once a day, at most once a week. Now this is where, Angeline, you can say, I only want news, I want blogs, I want webs, videos, books, discussions, finance, whatever you want. If you click automatic, it'll take everything. You can tell what language, right? So no, actually nothing's going to show up if I put Afrikaans. So I'll just put any language. Then you can tell what region of the world. Okay. Notice there's been a few more, one more example come up when I put any language. You can say only the best results or all results. And then you say, well, where do you want these alerts to go? Okay. And then as soon as I hit create alert, only the best results, as it happens, etc., are going to be emailed to me. So it's just a remarkable, Maz is saying, this is how people monitor what we've been up to. It's one way. Yeah, it's one tool for research and listening. Yeah, exactly. Okay, can I get an unmuted and an ooh and an ah if you think Google Alerts, actually hang on to the ooh and ah, because I want to know which tool you most think deserves an ooh and ah. So we've done the annotation. So this is an example of an asynchronous evergreen, meaning it just lasts, it's there whenever you want it. We've done the annotation on the screen live during a Zoom call. We did the Google Alerts. This is a word cloud. Now there's lots and lots of actual tools. This one I've just started using very recently. And the reason why is because, okay, let me just go back here. So this is where you would put your words. If it's if you've got tons and tons and tons of text, you just put it in here. You can change your colors here. You can change your fonts. So someone tell me a font that you want. Let's change the font of the example that they're using. What font would you like? Comic Sans. Okay. Oh, why is it not coming up? Huh, that's weird. That's a very common font. Okay, I don't know why that's not, so we'll just pick handwriting. It might, I actually haven't tried to change the demo one, so maybe it won't. Oh, okay. And then notice how this is kind of in the shape of a fan. That's why I love this particular word cloud is you can make any of these shapes you want. So you can make the, and again, I don't know if it's, oh, it does change the, there we go. Okay, let's try to, I don't know why it's not changing the font. I know, cool. Shook, isn't that cool? Yeah. Let's try to, I don't know, it's bugging me why it won't change the, okay, there's Arial. Okay, there we go. There we go, it changed. Okay, so this is just the demo, right? So talk about a, Maz, I could get lost in this, yeah. So it's easy, you know, under the word, you know, again, you probably aren't going to put the individual words here. What you want to do for this particular tool is click here, and then you can just cut and paste or copy and paste all, like an entire speech, entire PhD dissertation. So super, 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 super simple. Okay, and then here is the Visual Ping website. Did I give you that URL? Okay. So those are a couple of examples of tools. Which one's your favorite? Let me know, either put it in the chat or unmute. Which one can you see yourself using? How would you use it? Which one is your, of the ones I've shared? And if you, there's so many other tools for research and listening. So if you have other examples, please share them. So Ali says, I can see using Google Alerts. Great. Anyone else? What would you use there? Oh, word cloud to gauge commonality. Yeah, Shook, absolutely. I was going to show you, I don't know if I can quickly pull this up. I wanted to kind of show you poll everywhere quickly. Maz is saying word cloud before our Monday meeting. Okay, actually at our break, which is in, I don't know if it's going to immediately log me in. Sorry, I should have pulled this up before, but I can pull it up at the break. Do you want to, did you want to see poll everywhere, how that works? Yeah, I'm going to have to go in. Like a word of the week, Kelly. Yeah. Okay, Maz. Okay, I don't want to waste your time. So I will log in to poll everywhere at break. But in the meantime, let me just go back to the PowerPoint here. And let me know in the chat if you can see my screen. Are you good? Okay, thanks. Okay, so those are just the tip of the iceberg for tools for research and listening. Now let's go ahead. We'll do a few more tools, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back. So these are tools for ease and efficiency. And these tools, I think if we used more of these tools, people would be a lot more relaxed, a lot more productive, and had a lot more time to do the things that you're uniquely positioned to be of service to. So who has a stapler that's handy? Does anyone have a stapler near them? And if you do, grab your stapler. So let me know in the chat if you have a stapler. Great. Okay, Shook has one. Anyone else? Neural has one. Great. Anyone else have a stapler? Maz, great. Okay, so I invite you to take that stapler if you have one and turn it over, and let me know if you have a button on the bottom of your stapler. Afi has a cute stapler. Okay. Nice. So who has a button like this on the bottom of their stapler? And for those who don't have a stapler nearby, oh, Afi doesn't have one. Okay. For those of you who don't have a stapler, don't worry, I'll show pictures of what this does. Anyone have a button on the bottom of their stapler? Ali doesn't. Oh, you don't. Oh, this is not going to have near the impact then. Okay, well, a lot of staplers have a button. And what do you think happens when you push that button? A little hard if you don't have one, so you have to guess. But something happens when you push that button. Any guesses? These are sort of large, like kind of office size staplers, not the little tiny ones. But Maz says it will stop it from working. Good guess, Maz. Shook saying it will open up the stapler. Good guess, Shook. Okay, this made my mind explode when I learned this. It actually, when you press it, it makes the plate move, and you can actually turn this metal piece here. You can, and you see there's two different indentations. So it changes the actual shape of the staple. It goes from stapling like this, which you're probably used to, where the staples come in, to the staples go out. And this is supposed to be for larger pieces of paper. I know, right, Afi? Incredible. I know. So the next time you're near a larger kind of office stapler, take a look at that button. Afi's saying my stapler is cute, but not as useful now. Yeah. So I love this example, right? And it lends itself so well to tools for ease and efficiency and workflow. Maz is saying, I think we still love you. Because these tools are right in front of us, right? They're right in front of us. And with a couple of simple little tweaks, as long as you stay in the driver's seat, as long as you pick the appropriate tool that matches your pain point, your issue, the thing that you're trying to do, these tools are absolutely incredible for ease and efficiency. And one sort of subcategory of tools for ease and efficiency is workflow. How many of any of you, do you have an automated workflow? So does anyone have an automated workflow? And by that, I mean something in your workflow that happens automatically. You've got tech tools that are helping you do something automatically. Ali's saying staplers are a lot smarter than I thought. Yeah. As in it's programmed. It can be programmed, yeah. So for example, a very, very simple example of automation is if you have a, I've lost the word. If you go away on holidays or you're off sick and you put a notice on your email, what's that called? I completely lost the word. To let people know you're out of office for a week or whatever. That's a very simple example. But I'm going to show you one example of automation that I would seriously recommend you consider. You may not decide to use it, but I would seriously recommend. Oh, what happened here? Something. There we go. Because the research shows that businesses that have automations in their workflow, productivity can go up by 12 to 15%. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of, I don't mean this to sound, everyone's got to be working 7 days a week. And like, it's not about that. It's about working smarter. And it's also about saving some time so you have more time for ease and more time for rest. So to summarize this little chunk here, automations are kind of the highest level of ease and efficiency. I will show you just one example. And I really, it's a very deep subject matter that you can dive into. And I'll just show you one kind of simple example, but I'll also show you lots of other tools for ease and efficiency. Okay. So who here has a tool to keep track of your tasks, to keep track of your to-dos? Ali does. Evernote, great. Okay, Evernote's a really big, robust tool. Yeah, they have tons and tons of features on it. Anyone else have a tool that you keep track of your to-dos? Neural uses Google Calendar, okay, with the reminders, great. Okay, anyone else? And all of these, like, so in the Google suite, there's Google Keep. That's an amazing one. That one has both Evernote. I'll just put this in the chat here. Both Evernote and Google Keep have OCR. Anyone know what OCR is? Amira uses sticky notes. Perfect. Yeah, the trick is to find something that works for you. Shook uses a notebook. Yeah, if it works for you, perfect. Maz uses Post-its. ClickUp, Ali uses ClickUp. Oh, great. ClickUp is one of the newer tools. Anyone know what OCR is? So Google Keep and Evernote both have OCR. So OCR is magic, and it is otherwise known as optical character recognition. Put this in the chat. And what the heck does that mean? It means that in my case, when I have all of my Nana's who passed away many, many years ago, all of her handwritten recipes, I had someone scan all of those recipes, upload them to Evernote, and Evernote can read handwriting. So Evernote can, and Google Keep can read those characters and turn it into text. Sounds like optical illusion, yeah. Oh, Affy's used as a bullet journal, absolutely. So there's pros and cons to paper and digital. I'll show you this tool, Workflowy. One benefit of the online tools is that you can share, right? And they're backed up. They're in the cloud. They're not going to get lost. So I will show you Workflowy in a few minutes. Another tool which has already been mentioned, and this is, so Workflowy is super, super, super simple for to-dos. If you want more task management and project management, tools like ClickUp, Evernote, Asana, Trello, you know, those are really great tools if you need more project management. This tool is the best tool that solves the biggest problem that you didn't know you had. So now this is an example. The type of tool is called a clipboard manager. Does anyone have a clipboard manager? In the chat, let me know if you have a clipboard manager. Okay. If you get a clipboard manager, you will probably use this 50 times a day. Now, what the heck is a clipboard manager? It's a little bit hard to describe, but imagine if you're trying to copy and paste something, I can almost guarantee, I'm not a betting person, but I would almost bet you money that you, without knowing it, unconsciously, you go to one document and you copy something, and then you go to the second document and then you paste, then you go back to the first document, you copy something else, you go back to the, back, forth, back. Okay, Angeline, a clipboard manager memorizes the things on your clipboard. So when you're copying something, what you may not know is that it goes to something called a clipboard. So Flycut is a clipboard manager. So the clipboard manager is the type of tool. Flycut is the specific one that I use. So it works on Macs. So if you're not on a Mac, just search best clipboard manager for PCs. And it gives me, and I can change the settings. If I want, it can memorize the last 50 things I've copied. So I am in one document, I copy. Now I go to the second document, paste. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so lovely. Ali says, I'm sold. Yeah. So again, Flycut works for a Mac. That's the specific type of tool. If you don't have a Mac, just research Clipboard Manager. Oh, it's just beautiful. The only downside to a Clipboard Manager is they don't tend to copy the styling. So if things are hyperlinked, bolded, you might have to put those in. Maz is definitely going to try this. Yeah, it's brilliant. Okay, and then another tool, and again, this, I would guess that the Clipboard Manager everybody could use that. I would imagine that that would be good for if you're working on a computer. I think everybody could use a clipboard manager. This one here, maybe not everyone needs. So does anyone need to track your time? Does anyone need to track your time? So if you have to figure out, or like if you want to know how much time you're spending on, okay, so Shook uses Clockify. Great. So I've been doing time blocking and tracking my time for about 1.5 years now. And I know exactly how much time I'm spending on email, on social, on client work, and I can go into my individual clients. So if you need to track your time, Toggl is a great one, and that's the specific tool. The type of tool is a time tracker. And I do a report every week. I track that. What were my learnings for the week? I'm tracking my KPIs, and Toggl is a important tool for me to that end. Okay, the next one is potentially the most important ease and efficiency tool. Oh, is someone unmuting? Do you have a question? No, okay. Does anybody have a text expander? Does anybody have a text expander? Oh, these are just brilliant. So this would be another tool that I would think everyone could use. Okay, Shook, what is it? Okay, so a text expander, and by the way, these tools are not free, but I use my text expander probably 50 times a day easily. A text expander, and I'll demonstrate this in a minute, you teach it to recognize what we call boilerplate text. And boilerplate text is text that you type all the time. And you just type a little tiny thing, and then it will expand it to that text. So I know that that doesn't make a lot of sense. So let me just stop the share, and I will demo some of these tools here. Just give me 2 seconds here. Okay. So this is, let me know in the chat if you can see my screen. Maz is saying there's something in Outlook that expands text. Oh, great, Maz. Yes, so that is a text expander, and you're exactly right. So you can get a text expander on your smartphone, and you can get a text expander in, usually your email program will do it. But the problem with that is that it only works in that platform. If you purchase a text expander, it works everywhere. It works in email, Word, Excel, WordPress. The only place it doesn't work, it's such a pain, is in Zoom chat. That's the only place that I found it doesn't work. Okay, so let me just show you quickly Workflowy. I know, isn't that magic, Maz? Like it's incredible. So we're now in Workflowy, and Workflowy has something called nested bullets. So I can nest things under each other, and then I can roll them up and roll them down. So I have like my virtual assistant. So I work with a company like for 12 years now, and they do a lot of work for me, and all of their tasks are in Workflowy. So I share that link with them, and I can move things around really easily. So it's all drag and drop. So let me, and I'm just copying the link here. So you should be able to access this list now. And anything that's in blue is a list that I've shared. So feel free to come on to Workflowy and see if you can add something. So see if you can click on there. And if you want to add another thing, you just click here. Oh, is it asking you to sign up? Oh, okay, sorry, folks. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay. Or maybe did I? Just a second. Let me just see if this is the same. Is that the same link? Try that link now. Okay, great. So see if you can get in and just add a bullet and some text. I use this for grocery lists, for packing lists, for my entire, there we go, I can see people adding. You're in. And by the way, I could share it so you can only view, or I can share it so you can edit. So super simple, like, you know, you can be up and running with this in minutes. I'm just going to click away from this for a second. This is my list of my Learning and Development Roundtable. So I know the top of this list right here, this is the next thing that I need to do. Everything below here, this is all the things I've done, all the promo, what needs to happen. Each of my Facebook groups are all linked in here. All of the LinkedIn groups, you know, have the links in here. So it's fast, 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 fast. Okay, comments, questions about Workflowy? Super, super simple tool. Okay. Okay, so let me then.
Leanne,
Oh, yes.
sorry. About Workflowy, would you recommend like putting, like if you were to include like sensitive info, would Workflowy have like some encryption on that, or?
That's a great question. If it's so, what I would recommend is that you go into Workflowy and research their security. That's really something that you know, you can drill down into quite deeply, like where sometimes people need to know where are their servers, because sometimes where the servers are impact the laws that govern, you know. So anytime you're dealing with sensitive information, make sure that you've looked specifically at that tool to answer some of those questions. Okay, great question. Any other questions about Workflowy? Okay. Okay, I want to show you the text expander. Okay, and then we'll stop for a break. Okay, so with a text expander, remember a text expander expands, you teach it, you give it a little bit of code, and then you teach it that, okay, when I write this, I want it to turn into this. So almost every email you would receive from me starts with the same sentence. And I've taught my text expander, when I type I-ho and I click enter, it expands to, I hope this finds you well, right? Just making sure I can see the chat here. And almost every email that I end with, when I type TU, I did that quite quickly, and I hit enter, it expands to thank you in advance for your reply. I appreciate it. Right? My virtual assistant, his name right now is Shyam. Well, his name's always Shyam, but my virtual assistants change. So when I type Shy and I hit enter, if I type RPSU, that spits out the upcoming events on my website, that URL. if you connect with me on LinkedIn, when I type LinkedIn TB and hit enter, all of this text comes out, right? So I want to be of service if someone wants to connect with me, but I don't want to have to go to another document. And I know, Amira, right? It's absolutely incredible. When I type, let me just see here. When I type LD join, the link to join the Learning and Development Roundtable pops up, right? When I type LDFU, that sounds terrible, but it stands for follow up. And I click here, all of this stuff about the roundtable pops up, right? Like I don't have to think, right? I just boom, 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 boom. And if I type thank you, look, it pops up. You can do images. So best tool. To use a text expander, you need to figure out what's your boilerplate text, right? What is the paragraph, the URL, the multiple paragraphs that you're typing all the time. And it can be pictures, it can be URLs, it can be text, it can be whatever you want. You just have to make sure, like right now, if I was typing here, I'll give you an example. I am feeling shy. Is that going to work? Can I type, what's going to happen when I hit enter? Okay, Shyam is the name of my VA. So you can't use a abbreviation that you use in regular life. So for example, so when I type LD, that comes into Learning and Development Roundtable. But just this morning, I was typing something that had an LD in it. And I'm like, oh, no, I didn't mean Learning and Development Roundtable, and I erased it. Okay, comments, questions before we break for 5 minutes. Oh, actually, if everyone can unmute. So just unmute for a minute. And if you think the tools deserve it, only if you think the tools deserve it, or one of the tools, let's hear an ooh and an ah. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
Wow.
And what's getting your 2 thumbs up, or what's getting your ooh and ah? Any particular tool?
Clipboard manager.
Word cloud. So what was that, Ellie? Sorry?
Clipboard manager.
Clipboard manager. I know.
I'm
So
gonna
simple,
abuse
right?
it.
Oh, it solves the biggest problem that you never knew you had, right? You will be amazed. And a couple times I've had to change my clipboard manager because I think the company went out of business or something. And so for like one day I didn't have a clipboard manager. I was so miserable. Like, I was like, this is impossible. You know? So Shook is saying something like when we type C, it goes to copy. Yes, that's right, Shook. But it can be, you can spit out 22 paragraphs, right? Like, so your first task, if you want to use a clipboard manager, is keep a document that tracks all the things that you do over and over and over and over. URLs, content, how you start an email, how you end an email, and then find your clipboard manager tool. You will have to pay for it. This is the tool, it does cost money. And then you start teaching it how to do that. Yeah. Okay. You are lovely. I appreciate your time. Have a quick break. Please be back and ready to go in 5. We'll do a few more tools for ease and efficiency. And then we will some tools for store, finding, and share. And then we'll do a really quick thing on assessing engagement. Okay, we'll see you in 5 minutes, everyone.
See you.
Hey, folks, so we got everyone back. Just put a note in the chat there if you're back. Okay, hi, Maz. Okay. Hi, Neural, Amira, Shik. Okay. Okay. I wanted to just bring you back to our group with a bit of just another example of how you can translate your potentially your in-person to online. Have people heard of magnetic poetry? These are these things. So there's little tiny, this is like a Shakespeare set. So normally you would put this on your fridge, and these are all tons and tons of different words. So I feel free to take a couple words and just write a line of prose. Just put the words together and write one sentence. Ali, were you saying yes, that you have heard of magnetic poetry, or yes, that you're back? Oh, Maz knows it. Okay. Oh, you've seen it. Great, great. Okay. Yeah, so this is like a simple way to do something kind of fun. Now, obviously, you know, I'm holding it, so it's moving a tiny bit. Move it a bit closer. So feel free to write one line of prose. And you can add your own words if you need to. Oh, you're having a hard time seeing the words. Are they too far away, Maz? Excellent garden remedy tier. Oh, that's great, Ali. Oh, they're too near. Oh, okay. Oh, I made an assumption there. How's that? Is that better? Ah, thanks, Shek. Okay. So all I did is I took these magnet pieces and I put them on a cookie sheet. So just a really simple, kind of fun way to get people focused. The only thing is it takes a surprisingly long time to put these on a cooking sheet. I usually give myself like 20 minutes at night when I'm watching Netflix. Blunt tempt man. That's great. One pleasure fire. Oh, Amira, that's great. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna pull them down. So thank you for playing. You know, this is what I got them from. Okay, you can get tons and tons of different kinds there. You can make your own for that matter. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to share a few more tools for ease and efficiency, and then some tools to store, find, and share. And then we'll do a quick session on tools to assess. So as usual, as I mentioned before, like make sure these tools are solving some pain for you. Make sure that you're in the driver's seat. And that they're the appropriate difficulty level for you. You know, they're toe, dip, or dive. And that there's a difference between the type of tool. So the type of tool, for example, was a text expander. And then the specific tool that I was demonstrating was type it for me, right? So the type of tool is like up in the top of the mountain, and then down in the valley is the specific tool. Same thing with the clipboard manager. So the clipboard manager is the type of tool, and FlyCut is the specific tool that I use. Okay, let's go ahead here. Okay, so some more tools. I'll give you a couple more tools for ease and efficiency. Have you ever had to scan a document and you're not near a printer and it's just a hassle and it's frustrating? And has anyone ever been in that situation? Blunt Tempt Man or One Pleasure Fire. Okay, shook his yes. Okay. Yeah, so Scannable is a link to Evernote, but you don't have to use Evernote to use Scannable. Scannable is a remarkable app. It gives you as good a quality scanning as you would on a scanner. It is remarkable. The only time I've had an issue with Scannable is if the light isn't proper. Sometimes I've had to move the document around to get a little bit more, a brighter light. And you can share, once you've scanned something, you can share it on WhatsApp, email, Evernote. Affy's saying I use Cam Scanner. Yeah, great. So completely ignore what I'm saying. If this is not a problem for you, it's not an issue. If it is, potentially take a look at Scannable or Cam Scanner. Affy and Shook both use that one. Okay, I'm a little bit hesitant for this next one because it's such a big topic. But is there anyone on the call that feels like 100% on top of their email? Email is not a problem at all. Doesn't cause you any grief at all. Anyone at all on the call? I mean, usually email is just a behemoth. So a couple of tools. Does anyone use Boomerang? Does anyone? Depends on the day, says Ali. Yeah. Okay, Boomerang. So actually Boomerang has, Boomerang is free if you have a Gmail account. If you don't use oh yeah, so there is a thing that will Boomerang. This is a different tool. This is for email. Boomerang is, if you don't have a Gmail account, you need to pay for Boomerang. Well worth it. I use it probably 20-30 times a day. And a Boomerang, how many people can relate to, okay, does Ali owe me an email or do I owe him an email? And oh, did Affy get back to me? She said she was going to send me something. What was it? Did she get back to me or do I owe her an email? And oh, Neural was going to do, okay, am I supposed to send her an email? Did she, who does the next edit of, like, can anyone relate to those issues? Okay, yeah. So Boomerang is I'm marvelous at this. And basically, if you, yeah, so Shook, you can type search, absolutely. And if that's working for you, then don't go any further. If you're constantly trying to think, okay, did the person get back to me or not? Then you can Boomerang something. And when you Boomerang an email, you can say, Boomerang, bring that email back into my email, into my inbox if a couple things. So if they haven't responded, or bring it back into my email box regardless. And you tell it, bring it back into my email box a month from now, Wednesday at 9 a.m. or tomorrow morning or a week from now. And the lovely thing is that you can check that box if they've responded or it doesn't matter if they've got back to me or not. Then you can also add a note. So you can say, okay, bring the email Boomerang, bring it back into my inbox Wednesday at 9 a.m. If they've not responded, and then I can add a tiny little note saying they're supposed to have gotten me version 2 of the report, so that now I can forget about it until Wednesday at 9 a.m. It comes back into my inbox and with a note saying, you know, did they give me version 2 of the report? Beautiful, 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 beautiful program. And you can also, you know, snooze emails. You can, there's quite a few tools for emails to help you kind of get on top of that if that's an issue for you. And speaking of which, does anyone use Unroll Me? Have you heard of this tool? Unroll Me. Unroll Me is a little bit like Tinder. No, it's not related to Twitter. There might be something else, Ali. I don't know, but it's like Tinder for email. So you swipe left or right. It's fantastic. It's so much fun. You go on your phone and you can, if you, I can't remember which is direction, but if you swipe one way, it will automatically unroll you from that email list or that newsletter or whatever. Oh, Tinder is a dating app, Shook. So Tinder, you swipe left or right if you want to. I've never used it. I've been married forever. Oh, swipe left is no. Okay, I love that you know that, Maz. So on Unroll Me, you bring up all your emails, you swipe a certain way. If you swipe a certain way, it will automatically unroll you. If you swipe the other way, it will keep that email. If you swipe up, you have a third option, it will put that email into a daily bundle, right? So instead of getting 10 emails, if you roll them up into that thing, it will send you one email with all of those emails in it. So very, very simple, and can help you get on top of your emails. Then there are the really, really, really specific apps. So has anyone heard of Be My Eyes? Now, I'm not sure if any of your communities will use this. This is a very specific thing. It's so great. So millions of people are on this app, and it is for people who are sight impaired. And if I'm sight impaired, I can go on to Be My Eyes and I can request a pair of eyes. I can request someone to be my eyes. Now, there are way more sighted people on this than people with visual impairments. So if that call comes up on your phone, you have to answer it like within a millisecond, otherwise it goes to someone else. So I've had calls from like a young person who's just moving into their dorm, and they take their camera and their phone rather, with their camera on, and they showed me the room and they're like, can you describe it to me? And I'm like, oh, I'm just so happy to be of service. Or someone lost their earrings and they've got their phone. I'm like, little to the left, right, there you go. So it's an incredible app. I've taught this before to someone who was a pastor here in Kenya. He's like, I've got so many blind people in my congregation and I'm going to share this app with them. So don't forget apps as a way of resolving an issue for you. Can you use an app to bring you ease and efficiency? I was describing this one app at the top of the call, One SE, and you make a movie out of 1 second of your life every day. So I upload a picture from that day. I'm also using it. I'm getting rid of a bunch of clutter. So I take a picture of the clutter that I've cleared and it makes a movie. It's a really lovely, free, easy app to use. Okay, then there are, Maz, One SE is so much fun and it's so easy. It's so easy to use. Okay, how many, this is a very specific problem. Do you have daylight savings time in Malaysia? Do you have that concept where the
No.
clocks change? You don't, okay. Do you work with any countries that do? In your work, do you ever reach out to countries that, okay, Shook is yes, okay. So Kenya, we don't do daylight savings time, but lots of parts of Europe do, Canada does, and around the times, the 2 times of the year that the clocks shift, until a couple years ago, I started using Time Buddy. I would always get the meeting mixed up because if we had planned ahead of time, then for one country, the time changes, but the other country, it didn't. And I just like, my brain is not big enough to figure this out. So Time Buddy, I specifically use that app around when the times change because you put in the date of the meeting. So you say, I want to meet on April the 14th, and it automatically calculates if a country is doing daylight savings time or not. So when I kept having that issue, I'm like, okay, I have to figure this out to bring me some ease and efficiency, and not either have someone be an hour late or an hour early for a meeting. And then using meeting planners like Doodle, things like that. Does anyone use Doodle? That's a really great, simple thing to plan meetings. Okay. Okay, and then the last one I wanted to show you is the last tool around tools for ease and efficiency are email automations. Now, does anyone's organization do this? Do you have an email automation? Do you have a funnel? Do you know what that is? Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. What does a funnel mean? Okay, great question, Shek. Okay, I'm going to take you over to demo some of these tools here. Okay, so I'm going to answer that question in just a second. But in the meantime, I told you at break that I would demo the Poll Everywhere. So if you scroll up in our chart, let me just grab it for you here. I put the link to okay, just grab it for you really quickly. So this, just to bring you back, I know I'm skipping around a little bit here. To bring you back, Poll Everywhere is a tool that you can do automatic polling. So if you click on that link and answer the question, which social media tool are you most comfortable with? So click on that link. This is the one where you can do by tweet, by texting. Is anyone trying to click on the link? Okay. Did you? Oh, there. Okay. Did you see it? See how they're moving? It's really cool. It updates in live time. And you can, again, you can control this. People can, if you want, they can only, and by the way, you're looking at the back end of it. You're in my account, so it looks a little bit messy here. But it's anonymous, so it's, it's not high risk for people. People can, if you want, they can only respond with the URL, or they can only respond by text or by using Twitter. I can say, I only want you to have one reply or many replies. Oh, and I looked it up again. So this one is free up to 40 respondents. So once you get more than 40, you would have to pay. And this poll can live on a blog post, right? It's pretty cool. And notice how engaged you are, right? I can see those lines keep changing, right? So it's a fun one. The link, sure. So this is the link here to give your response. Okay. And then the link to the actual tool is polleverywhere.com if you want to use it yourself. So there's two links there. One is to let you respond, and then one is to the actual tool. I put those in the chat. Okay. Yeah, it's fun, right? And people like snap to attention, right? Like they're looking at those bars. The only thing potentially is that it's not great in the global south. You can't click the link, but you can copy. Oh, yeah. Ali, thank you, Ali. Yeah, copy and paste that link to use it. Okay, so I'm going to take you off that. I'm just aware of our time here. And just a second here. Okay, then the other thing I wanted to show you really quickly. Oh, okay. This is, so I've taken you, this is the funnel or the automations. So this is a big, like this is definitely dive. This is not an easy tool. So I have taken you into my CRM. Okay, so you're in ActiveCampaign and you're in behind the scenes. Okay, so the public would never see this. This is in behind in my ActiveCampaign. Oh, no worries, Ali. We'll see you again later. Okay. So the funnel or the nurture sequence is when someone signs up to one of my lists, I'm just clicking here, they automatically get those emails that I send once a week, but they also get put into a funnel. Okay, they also get put automatically. I don't have to do anything. This is all automated. Takes a while to come up here. And what happens is they enter the funnel at the top. They get another email saying, hey, welcome to the Learning and Development Roundtable, depending on which funnel they're in. And then that email gets sent automatically. Sorry, this is just taking a while. Okay, here we are. So this is the funnel or the nurture sequence. So if you were to sign up to my learning and development list, and I also have another newsletter list, you enter the funnel and you automatically get this welcome. Okay, then you get held here for 3 days. Okay, then you get another email, then you get held there for 2 days, and then you get the final email. Right, so this is in addition to the getting signed up for a newsletter. Okay, I'm just going to pull this off because it's taken a while to, yeah. So that's a really, really quick description of a funnel, right? And you can share resources, you can point them towards videos, links, give them a little surprise. That's a really, really quick example of a funnel. Comments, questions there? Does that make sense? Okay, let's take you back to here then. And I just want to, just aware of time, I'm actually trying to make up a little bit of time for some, we took a little bit longer in a few other sessions here. So I am going to pick up the pace. So apologies for that, but know that you can access this recording and you can access all of these PowerPoints. Okay, so just a couple minutes on tools to store, share, and find, and then we're going to talk about toilets as a way to assess engagement. Okay, so some tools to share, find, and store information. You've seen this, you've got your one-stop portal. It's a really easy way to, and this doesn't have to live in Google, it can live on your website, but it's a very easy way to put a ton of resources in one place and make it easy for your participants to find. Ali mentioned Evernote. Evernote is a beast. It is a big, complex program. You won't be up and running with it in 5 minutes, but it has tons of beautiful features. So if you need a way to store your information, your content, your IP, your intellectual property, Evernote is a really great way for that. And then Loom. Has anyone used Loom? Has anyone used Loom? Okay, I will. Oh, Mass is going to try the funnel. Good for you, Mass. Yeah. Loom is a fantastic, I'll demo that in just a second. It's a way of videoing your screen and sharing that information. I'll show you in just a second. Then the other one is bookmarks. Like, do you have bookmarks on your browser? Are you organizing your content? Did you know that you can put folders within folders? I have, especially in my IP, if I need to get a survey, if I need to get a worksheet, everything is within folders within folders. They're organized by worksheets, by surveys, by videos. This all lives on my browser. Super, super easy to take a look at. Maz, I have bookmarks, but I don't organize them into folders. Yeah, so Maz, you've done the first hard step. Putting them into folders just makes it much easier because that is high value real estate. Your browser across the top there is such tiny space. So if you put them into folders, it's much easier to be able to access them. Yeah. Okay, and then that's how to bookmark on your browser. Then there's social bookmarking, which is a fantastic tool. So let me just demo these here. Okay. Okay, so we are in Loom. Okay, and Loom, for free, you can record up to a 5-minute video. Okay, so you can record up to a 5-minute video on Loom, and you can record your screen and or yourself. So you can record everything on your screen with or without a picture of yourself. So here's a quick little video for my virtual assistant on how to make an ActiveCampaign. So how to take my newsletter content and put it into ActiveCampaign. Loom videos are fantastic. They're, the downside is they can only be up to 5 minutes, but super, super easy to use. Then the other one I wanted to show you is Diigo. So this is my account for Diigo. Now the difference between Diigo and putting things, by the way, can you see the drop-down menu of all my folders here?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an example. So here's all my worksheets, right? Here's all my surveys. Okay, and if I click on this one, I will go to that URL. But here's the pro tip with bookmarking things on your browser. If I right click, I can copy that. And now I don't have to go to that URL. I've just copied that URL and I put it in the chat. So if there are URLs that you're sharing with people a lot, I can, like, here's the sign up for the Learning and Development Roundtable. I just right click and copy, and now I can paste it in the chat. And I haven't had to go to that URL. Let me pause because I know I'm going quickly. Is this making sense? Do you have questions about Loom or about Diigo? Well, actually, we haven't got to Diigo yet. How are you doing? Are you overwhelmed? Are you on track? Okay, Amira, you can keep it up. Great. Anyone else? You okay? Neural's good. Okay. Okay, so Diigo, if you click on, I've given you a bunch of links here, but if you click on this link here, this is you'll be in my account. Okay, and then what you can do is all of these are tags that I've assigned to different URLs, and you can click. So tell me which tag of these are you interested in? Tell me one of these tags. Maz is saying, I feel like I need to try everything. Yay, yay, Maz. So someone give me a tag here. Which tag interests you? Productivity. So when I click on productivity, what's happening is 167 links are coming up. Oh, sorry, hang on. Oh, hang on. What happened there? Okay, so now it's brought up all of these links to do with productivity. So if you find someone who you like their content, you can go into their accounts and look at their tags. Conversely, so that's the easy, that's the toe. The dip or the dive is to create your own Diigo account. And you'll see this Diigo thing here. So I've installed Diigo on my browser, and that little red dot means that I have bookmarked that. So let's go back to Loom, and let's just say I wanted to bookmark this. So you just click Save Bookmark. It will give it a description, and then it will suggest tags for you, which you can change. You can add whatever tags you want. And then you have the option of making it private. So if I make this private, you wouldn't be able to see that link if you go into my account. If it's unclicked, then you could see, if you have my account, you could go in and see it. And then I just click Save. And a pro tip with Diigo is if I highlight something and then I go to bookmark it, it will take whatever I've highlighted and it will copy it into the description. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Is there a storage limit there on Diigo? I don't know, Neural. I'm not sure. That's a really great, it's not something I've ever had to worry about. And I have, although I do see it's over quota here. I need to look at this again. But so far I've only ever used it for free. Right? And you can see you can put as many different tags as you want. So you could use this internal to your organization. You can have particular tags for your research. It's just a fantastic program. Okay, how are you doing? Comments, questions on Diigo? Shik, you're welcome, Shik. Yeah, they're simple, right? Most of the tools that I'm sharing with you, almost all of them are free. Almost all of them are really simple. I haven't shared, well, the automation one, that's a very difficult tool. And again, the more features you have in a tool, the harder it's going to be. Okay. Let me just switch tracks here. Okay, let me know in the chat if you can see my screen okay. Okay, great. And tell me so far, I know we've covered a ton of ground. Tell me so far, what's your favorite tool? What's the one that's gone, I totally got to dive into that one. What's your top tool of mine so far? Diigo, says Naz. Okay. Yeah, it's a great, like if you think, oh, I found that really great video, and I know Maz would really like it, but I'm not going to go and find it because it would take me too long to share it with Maz. Right? Like sometimes if we don't have these tools in place, we have the inclination to collaborate and share. But if I know I can find that fast, it's like, where's that video about that kid and that dog? Okay, Maz, here we go. Here's this video. Yeah, Diigo is incredible. Such a great tool. Okay, so let's finish off our time together today with talking about toilets. And yes, that wasn't a mistake. We're going to talk a little bit about assessing engagement. So in the chat, put some your ideas about what makes for a good toilet. What makes for a good toilet? Clean. Anyone else? What makes for a good toilet? Has water, says Neural. Great. It smells good, says Maz. Shook saying not too tall, not too short, just nice for my height. Great. Okay, Angeline, safe. There's no snakes or bears. Oh, that's so interesting, Angeline, because safe could mean different things for different people. Norla has a door, it has toilet paper. Fantastic. Okay, hang on to your hats because we're going to do, we've got 15 minutes for this. It has a bidet, says Afi. Okay, great. So we're going to liken assessing digital engagement to toilets. So a super brief introduction to assessing digital engagement. And essentially, what I'm trying to do here is overcoming 3 major problems with assessing digital engagement. So one, assessments can often be super complicated, like super complicated. So we want to keep things simple. 2 is that assessing digital engagement can be boring. And there's no motivation for our stakeholders, our community members, etc., to engage with the assessment. And also they don't necessarily get anything out of it. And then thirdly, we want to keep it stupid simple, right? We just want to keep it not complex, really, really, really simple. So unlike this toilet, right, which has been made very, very, very complicated. A couple things to keep in mind. Ideally, we want it to be 2-way. So when I'm assessing any kind of engagement piece, I try to give my respondents something. And I will be asking for your assessment. I will send you a survey and there's a little surprise at the end. So that's I just trying to give back something really, really simple. We want it to be not boring. We want it to be creative, ideally, because we want it to mimic our online digital engagement, which has been really, really creative and engaging. When we're talking about who to engage, we want to look at the stakeholders, which are individuals and organizations who have an impact or can be impacted by our program. Now, I once did a workshop for some young people who were doing sexual health education, and they realized when we did the stakeholder piece that condom manufacturers are stakeholders for them. Now, could they involve condom manufacturers in their assessment? Probably not, but that was really interesting for them to realize. So one of the first things when we're doing assessment is to really figure out the who and make a big, big, big list without that voice on our shoulder saying, this isn't going to be feasible, can't do this, don't have enough money. Doesn't matter. This piece, really big, long brainstorm. And then the key thing is to really look at the what. Okay, so what are we trying to assess? So I'm going to go through this very quickly. There's, I don't know, 20 slides or so. And I want you to think about your, the things that you thought are important for a toilet and see if any of these toilets meet those examples. Okay, so I'm going to show you a bunch of slides. I think there's 20 slides, and see if any of these toilets fit with your definition of what makes a good toilet. Here we go.
Ha ha ha. Oh my God. That is cute. Ooh. Ugh. Ah, gross.
Someone had said a door, right? A bunch of people said clean, right? Tedious to clean.
Too pink.
Too pink. Yeah, but no one had mentioned color before. I don't know that anyone mentioned toilet paper in our description of a good toilet. So sometimes we can get carried away assessing things that aren't important, or we come up with a whole bunch of new things, right? And what I thought, who said, was talking about safety. So Angeline said that the toilet had to be safe, that there's no snakes or bears. Well, depending on where you are in the world, safety could mean like gender-based violence related, right? The toilet, in Kenya, one of the things that drives me mad is when I see men go into the bathroom in public. You would never see a woman do that. So why is it that, it's a little bit of the feminist, of me, why is it that it's okay for a man to urinate in public, but you would never see a woman? I've yet to see a woman in public, not in a bathroom. So for me, potentially, if I was talking about toilet, there'd be a gender perspective there. So when we're assessing, we want to look at what's really important and really strategic to assess. Can you give any examples in your own work? If you're looking at assessing your digital engagement, what would be really important for you to assess? You can think about that as we go along. Something to help you is if we have kind of a meta perspective, we'll give you a meta perspective and then kind of a micro perspective. If we're looking at assessing social change, we can look at, are you going to assess awareness? Are you going to assess attitudes? Are you going to assess behavior? Are you going to assess social impact? Angelina is saying whether the audience learned or convinced by what we shared. Oh, that's great. So that relates to the next kind of more focused micro piece, which is when we did the SAKEs. So if you were in that workshop when we talked about the SAKE tool, a really simple way of assessing digital engagement, and you've started to automatically talk about this, Angeline, is, are we assessing skills, attitude, knowledge, experience, right? The things that we would do are different based on each of those four things. Maz is saying being clear what we want to achieve with engagement. Absolutely. What does engagement mean? And so for that, you can look to the digital, we talked about the digital engagement ladder, right? Moving people up that ladder, that can be a key tool to help you with defining what engagement means to you. The what, so we've started to talk about some of those examples. Then also the when. So when do we engage people, or when do we assess people? We're looking at digital engagement. There are 4 different times that we can assess. Angeline, right after the program, absolutely. Beginning and the end. So those are 2. So at the beginning, at the end, during, absolutely shook. So we've got 3. What about the 4th one? We've got the post engagement. So the example for this that I love is, I was really lucky to take a 1-week intensive program evaluation course with Michael Quinn Patton, and he's a world-renowned, spelt wrong there. He's a world-renowned program evaluation specialist, and he was working with a addictions, like a residential addiction treatment center. So where people would move in here and live there as they were trying to overcome their addiction. And they had a survey that would go when people left the residential place. They would receive a survey. I think it was 6 months after or a year after. And Michael said to the executive director, okay, I think we have all the data. I think we're done. We can cancel that survey. And she said, absolutely not. I don't care if they fill in the survey. It's a chance for them to be thinking about their recovery. It's a reminder. It's a re-engagement of what they've learned. It's a tool to get them to be thinking about recovery and where they're at that point. So again, there's actually 4 different steps, right? So right before, I'll do that with word clouds, for example. Give me 3 words to describe. I did this in a recent Global Youth Climate Change Makers workshop where I was focusing on the leadership component. I said, give me 3 words to describe how you're currently feeling about climate change. And then I made that into a word cloud, and that became part of the teaching material. So of course you can do it during. I've done all sorts of little check-ins as we go through. You can do it right after, and then you can do the post. In terms of the how, when I'm working with clients on evaluation, I always make this rule, like, no questions. Don't tell me any questions that you want to know on a survey or a focus group or anything like that. Why would I say that? Why would I say no questions? Any guesses? So there's a couple of reasons. Number one, once people come up with a question, they get attached to it and it's hard to get rid of it if it ends up not being strategic or a priority. And two, at the beginning, it's not important what the question is. It's important, what is it that you want to know? And sometimes the questions don't measure that very well. So I always start out with clients, make a list of what you want to know and don't put any questions on that list. Designing the questions comes after that. If you can, gather some baseline data, try to walk your talk, make it fun, make it engaging, make it interesting, make it learning based, keep it stupid simple, and involve the community, right? Involve your stakeholders, your community. All sorts of different ways you can do that. If you look at your online portal, there's the bullseye, there's the beef and bouquet, there's the blob tree, word clouds, lots of fun ways, right? You could even have some people, give them a list of words, and get them to do some poetry or something, as long as it fits with your community. There's tons and tons of different ways to analyze data. I always like to try to involve the community, right? Because different pairs of eyes will see different things. So there's lots of different data analysis tools that we can use. I use the lenses for data analysis. So if you were part of that, if you attended that training session, like, how would a mountain lens look at this data? How would a carrot lens? And you just get so much more rich data there. And that, go through all 8 lenses there. And that brings us to the end of our time together. So as we have done a lot, like no matter if you were in all 30 sessions or a handful, we have covered a ton of content. Remember that it's in your portal. The links to the PowerPoints are there, the links to the videos. And I wanted to leave you with 3 things. I wish you fantastic digital engagement and building on what you already do so well. And I wanted to leave you with this true story. So this is me engaging with an online service. And you could order a transcription of your call. So I'm talking to a bot. Okay, so this is not a human person. And I'm the bot is telling me to do something with a list. And I'm saying, I'm about 15 minutes in and I am highly frustrated. So I'm saying at this point, oh, good God, help. And I'm trying to get a human. So I'm saying real human. And I say, never mind, I'm so frustrated. The bot says, you got it. And I say, I don't have it, help. And then the bot saying, I don't understand. I'm saying, help, 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 help. A bot saying, sorry, that doesn't look like one of the things on the list. And then I say, human operator, et cetera, et cetera. Bot says, you got it. Then I put in caps, I don't have it. This is not helpful. This is incredibly frustrating and a waste of time. Then the bot says, if you continue to use that language, we cannot assist you. So I know that you have all the things that you need to dive in and practice and have fun and to not be a bot, right? To not treat your stakeholders, your community like they don't have a brain. So as we finish up here, I would love for you, if you could, to put on your cameras. So everyone feel free to put your camera on for a sec. Neural, if you're able to, you may not be able to, and Shalini, if you're able to. Okay, Don't worry, Shalene, that's totally fine. Okay, and take your right finger, okay, and make a circle. Okay, now take your left finger and make a triangle. Now do them both at the same time. So that's a little bit what digital engagement is like. You need a lot of support, you need a lot of help, you're in this together, you have epically wonderful colleagues. The content is so necessary and needed by your communities. Your communities are so lucky to have you. So please take some time to focus. We've covered a ton of ground. Figure out, where are you going to start, right? I'll send you a blog post, or I'll send you an email, as I always do, the one last one, with the links to the resources. And one of the resources I'll send is a blog post I wrote on 7 tips to manage your learning curve, because the learning should not end here. If it's ended here, then you don't have the fun of trying these tools, right? And putting it all into practice. So this is just the beginning. Thank you. Shook is saying, is this exercise to demonstrate that we can't do things alone? Absolutely, Shook. You need your colleagues, you need your communities. Yeah. Digital engagement is challenging, but it's totally doable, right? If you have a strategy, if you work with your colleagues, use these tools, etc. Any comments, questions? Oh, and I'll send you please fill in the survey. Please. Oh, you're so welcome, Shook. Yes, and thank you to Mari. Thank you to Neural. Thank you to Afi for managing, corralling everyone, getting on the calls, sending out the emails, managing the tech. That's a big job. If you're able to unmute.
Yes.
And just say thanks and goodbye to your colleagues. Yeah, whatever you say.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Lian.
much. Thank you,
Thank you.
Lian.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone, for
Afi.
joining. And thank you so
Nurul.
much, Leanne, for giving us so much information and knowledge and being very generous with it throughout like almost 2 months. And thank you so much to everyone who followed through all the sessions. And even if you or your colleague could not make it, we still have the recordings and we will share it with you. And then after this, I will share the final email from the end. And hopefully we would like to hear your feedback. And then feel free to share with us if you or your organization incorporates any of the learnings that you've received throughout this whole session in your future events. We would really, really appreciate it. And we would like to know how this has benefited you. And thank you to Mascat for joining.
Oh, who's trying to that's great. Mas, I thought you were holding a sheet for some reason.
Yeah, me
Putting a sheet
too.
in-
I thought so too. Like,
What's going on?
what is this like humongous object in front of you?
Cat
Oh.
decided to make an appearance anyway.
And Selamat Hari Raya,
Oh,
Mas.
thank you, Shu.
Thank you, everyone.
Selamat Hari Raya to everyone. Happy
Selamat
Eid celebration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in lockdown, but it's okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
please, everyone, stay safe, stay well, stay creative, and stay laughing, right? Like, have
Yeah.
fun with this digital engagement. I know the tools can be frustrating. With that bot, I did want to take my computer and like throw it on the ground, but pause, relax, and get back to that. Like, you're doing really great work, and the digital engagement can only make that better. So appreciative. You guys are amazing. Not guys, I gotta stop saying that word. You folks are incredible, and your work is necessary and needed. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lian. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, Leanne.
Take care, everyone. Please stay safe.
Yes,
You
Take care,
too. Take
everyone.
care.
Ta-ta.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Say goodbye.
See you soon.
Congratulations.